You're going to the football game. You're going to be tailgating for hours. We're going to tell you what beers to drink so you remember the game the next day.
It's the latest chapter in our What's Brewing beer scavenger hunt. This week, it's an easy one.
From the Slacktide Brewing Company in Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey. He's Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. This is What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monkeyface Makers, powered by the Valley Forge Tourism Convention Board. Download the app.
By Visit Bucks County. Travel the Bucks County Ale Trail. Check in digitally to 5 or more breweries to score a free t-shirt. Get your passport at visitbuckscounty.com.
And by the Conshohocken Brewing Company. Visit conchohockenbrewing.com for the latest releases, location hours, menus, and online store.
You don't have to go away to get away. Go and explore. Find the small businesses that make where you live a community. When you dine, choose homemade. On a free weekend, discover the great outdoors. And if it's brewed here, enjoy it with friends. Support small for an experience you won't find anywhere else. Make it local, make it Main Street, make it Motco.
This holiday season, where will you find yourself? Celebrating tradition or crafting your own? From awakening awe to igniting the night. Spend the holidays in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Hey, welcome to What's Brewing, along with the well-traveled beer authority, Joe Sixpack. We'll get into your trip in a little bit. I'm Glen Macnow. We are here at the Slacktide Brewing Company in Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey. Beautiful spot.
It is. This is a can't-miss place when you're going down the shore. Cape May is a great beer area, but this place, you do not want to miss it.
Yeah, when we got here, you said, I've been here many times.
Of
So
course.
good. We'll talk about that. So we're going to start with this today because we are right in the guts of football season. People love to tailgate, and so we thought, let's talk about what is a good tailgate beer. So let's start with, you define, what's a good tailgate beer?
Well, personally, I have a pretty wide spectrum. I'll drink almost anything in a tailgater, but I think most people would agree that it should be somewhat low in alcohol, easy to drink, not a tongue scraper.
Right.
Certainly something that is. Did I say low in alcohol? I don't
Well,
know.
you said, so what, like under 6%?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, I think that would
Okay.
qualify. But something that you can drink more than one of, preferably something that you can put a cozy on or something.
Okay, I want flavor, but I want to be able to wake up the next day.
Yeah, that's we absolutely want to do that, and we know that so many mainstream beers like Bud, Miller Coors, Michelob Ultra, they all sort of work into that area.
Well, so yeah, here we go. These are the top-selling beers in the United States in 2020. Here you go. Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light. You getting a theme here?
Yeah.
Budweiser, Michelob Ultra. You can do better at your tailgate, and we're going to tell you. So here's our beer stuff. I'm going to give you one of our own from Conchi Brewing.
Okay.
Okay, this is Life Coach, which is a session IPA. I know you've had this before, right? It comes in at just 4.8% ABV, but it has a lot of flavor. And to me, this is something you can drink, a few of these and still go in and enjoy the game.
This is a lot of flavor. It's not overly overpowering in terms of the hops. Frankly, I always think of session ale, or IPAs rather, as basically pale ales, maybe a little bit lighter. So it's a good choice. I'm not sure that everybody is into hops for it, although I should mention that here at Slacktide, they make a beer that would really qualify. It's called the beer that built the house. It's a beer that is benefiting Habitat for Humanity. It's an India Pale Lager, so a low alcohol beer. And although I don't know that it's canned, it is definitely, drink it in your own home.
Here's to you.
In a growler.
Yeah, I could definitely enjoy that before a game.
This
right?
has all the qualities of a lager with a little bit more hops.
And
in
would
it.
go nicely with some pregame food on the barbecue. Now, Yards has got a big push now for like a regular beer, and you brought it in.
Which you got to love. Philly Standard.
Just the name.
Yeah, they went with a really frankly, almost a generic kind of label. As a matter of fact, when you go on their website to find out what kind of beer style it is, it says simply beer.
Beer.
So
I know.
nothing more
I
than
like
that.
it. Tom Keogh, who is the head guy over there, said, I've been saying it is a beer made by a craft brewer. You know, listen, we always love their stuff. They went, which one? This one?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
This is actually the first time I've tasted this.
Very light.
That's a pretty decent beer.
Yeah.
It's got a nice body to it.
Yeah.
It comes in cans too, so you can bring it to your tailgate pretty easily. I think, what is it, 4.5% alcohol. So,
Which, by the way, is less than Butter Coors.
yeah.
About the same as a Modelo, which I know a lot of people will enjoy at tailgate. It works.
I think it reflects sort of an ongoing trend we've been seeing in beer, which is the whole idea of making beer that tastes like beer. Sort of a pushback on some of the more exotic beers, which we're happy to drink.
We'll be getting to that in the next episode, by
Exactly.
the way, no question about it. But yeah, for tailgate beers, this works. Speaking of tailgate, but actually, let me show you some of those that I brought in, and tell me if you've ever tried them. This is a Rutland Red from Beer Works up in Vermont. A red ale, right? I like a red ale.
I think it could qualify.
That comes in
pretty
at
easily.
5.0.
Okay.
All right. This is a Dusky from the Oxbow Brewing Company. I wasn't familiar with this. The guy at the beer store said, try this. From Newcastle, Maine. Okay.
That's a brown ale, I believe.
It's a dark lager.
Or dark ale, which
4.0.
It is, which I sort of,
It's like free.
I wonder if people would freak out if they saw a dark beer in their cups at a tailgate.
Yeah, they probably would, because you think in
it's
your
a big-
mind it's more.
Yeah.
And this is our friends at 2SP, did the back and forth pale ale. We're talking about pale ales. That's a 5.0. Any of these I think would work well.
Sure.
Okay, speaking of tailgate beer, the Flyers have a new promotion with Bud Light where if you go to Xfinity Live, the price of a beer post-game, Bud Light, by the way, not any beer, the price of
just Bud Light.
just
Okay.
Bud Light, yes, goes down 50 cents for every goal the Flyers score. It starts at $6, by the way, and so if they score 4 goals, then it costs you $4.
All right, so how long till they pay us to drink that
Well,
beer?
the Flyers' record for goals in one game is 13, which they have done twice in their 50-plus year history, at which point they would pay you 50 cents to drink a Bud Light. I still would not drink a Bud Light if they gave me 50 cents.
I'm with you there, but let's go Flyers, I guess.
Yeah, let's go Flyers. I hope they score a lot of goals, but can I order something else? I'm not into the Bud Light. Anyway, all right, when we come back, there is a woman in South Dakota who drank a 50-year-old Coors beer. Banquet. We're going to tell you why, and we're going to tell you if she survived. From the Slack Tide Brewing Company in Cape May Courthouse, Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow on What's Brewing. Hi, along with Joe Sixpack, I'm Glen Macnow. This is What's Brewing. We're at the Slack Tide Brewing Company in Cape May. You got news on this?
The beer that built the house.
Yeah.
Raising money for Habitat for Humanity. It is, in fact, available in cans, so it's perfect to
good.
take to a tailgate.
All righty then. So, we mentioned how many people take Coors to a tailgate. There is a story, true story, about a woman in South Dakota who drank a 50-year-old can of Coors. Let me give you the backstory.
Okay.
All right. Diane and Ed Nusselhorf of Wisconsin married on February 14th, 1971. They went to visit Colorado. This is when Coors was a different thing. It was more of an iconic beer back then, right?
They couldn't bring it east to the Mississippi for a long time, and they made a whole movie
Was
about it.
Yeah. Was it actually better beer?
I believe it was,
Okay.
although it was different. That was the biggest thing.
All right. So they bought a case of Coors Banquet. They drank them all except for one, and they saved the one, and they said, on our 50th anniversary, we will drink this beer. How romantic.
Yeah, and
Right?
also optimistic.
Well, yeah, well, that's the problem. Ed was a pastor. They moved all around the country. They ended up in South Dakota. In 2016, Ed passed away. He didn't make it to the 50th anniversary, 5 years short of cracking open that can of Coors. But she saved it. On his deathbed, Ed's son tells him, Dad, I will honor you by splitting that Coors with Mom on the 50th anniversary. This Coors obtained really odd status within the family.
That's pretty remarkable. A deathbed vow of.
So, on February 14th, 2021, take a look.
Ooh, look at that.
Here's to you, Ed. You gotta drink it all.
I thought it was very tasty. I was very surprised. I thought it would be full of crap, and it wasn't.
It tastes sweet.
It was really good.
Just like author Anthony Hicks once said, youthful pleasures
Kind of good.
last until old age, and then they become old treasures.
What do you think?
Pretty remarkable and very heartrending.
It is heartrending, and they survived. And you go, not bad at all. I know we've talked about before how long you can hold onto a beer. This has to be a world's record.
Probably not.
Really?
It might be a world's record for Coors, which is clearly not made to be held on to that long. They boast about drinking that beer fresh. Typically, a lager like that's just not going to last that long.
All right. So I have nothing in my fridge older than maybe a year. I'm sure I have some in the back there that's, in cans that's been sitting around. But you brought one that
I did actually bring something.
We're gonna risk our lives
We'll
here
see,
for
'cause
their entertainment purposes.
This beer really wasn't made to be aged like this. It's about 15 years old.
All right.
Helios from Victory.
Yeah.
And I just had it in the back of my well, there we go.
Whoa.
That is a lovely sight.
Mount Vesuvius has arrived. Hey, our apologies to the guys here at Slack Guy. We're messing up their place.
Well, let's see
All
what
right.
it could. How bad could it be, really?
We'll find
So,
out.
and apologies to Victory. I mean, this is not the way to treat a beer,
Yeah, I
although it was
understand.
kept at a
They'll
good
be all right,
temperature. So
Okay, here. Wow. Well, we know it didn't go flat.
it did not go flat. I'm going to have to pour another one because that's all I had.
All right. And I'm going to wait for you to go because I'm going to see if you live on this, if you survive.
So this beer did have an
Ooh,
interesting
it's a
yeast to it.
little funky, man. It's a little bit funky.
You know what? It tastes sort of like a lambic beer that's been with a wild yeast in it, which I think it did have an interesting yeast in it to begin with.
It's not horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not great, but it's not. It's as I said, a little funky, but not
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
All right. So we asked on social media. We asked our viewers to give us the longest you've ever held onto a beer. And social media maven Martin, that's his name, said, "My brother-in-law, you'll love this, found that between us, we had at least one bottle of Mad Elf for the 6 prior years. So we did a vertical tasting.
Vertical tasting.
Pro tip, Elf is still good at 6 years old, but the quality tops out at 3 years." Larry James Bell, 1954, Ballantine Christmas. He said, I drank it about 10 years ago, chunks and all. Clear stuff, tasted like sherry. Chunks made you want to hurl.
Good. Was an IPA that they used to make every Christmas. They gave to their employees.
Ballantine made an IPA?
Absolutely.
Ballantine?
It's a Ballantine Burton, as it was called. If it's the same one we're talking about. And I've had that. It's quite good. I don't know that I had one that was 50 years old, but it was pretty darn old.
Okay, and finally, Ryan Spader, the Ace of Spades, very well-known baseball guy, stats geek, terrific guy. I know him. Former Marine. Said, and we're going to show a picture of the can here. Here is a 40-year-old beer that I own from the Pittsburgh Brewing Company, which you said does Iron City.
Iron City, yeah.
Okay, 1981, saluting the Marine Corps detachments. And you can see on the can, it's got the bulldog and it's got the names of Marines. I've already drank one of them. It tastes like metal. Not sure if that's due to age or the fact that it was from Pittsburgh.
Probably a little of both.
How about that?
I'm serious. What is the worst that can happen? There's no poison in beer. It's not going to turn, poison up on its own. So,
All right, here's what I got to say. If I can drink this, or I can drink this fine one from Cape May. From Slack Tide here at Cape May Courthouse, I'm going with the Slack Tide. All right, when we get back, we've been running a scavenger hunt and having fun. We're going to give you the chance to win a night of drinking with us. What could be more fun than that? Glen Macnow Joe Sixpack. It's What's Brewing. Glen Macnow here with Andrew Colligan from Conshohocken Brewing Company. Let's run down the new lineup of exciting beers, starting with Type A.
Our #1 selling beer, big citrus hop notes and nice dry finish, the quintessential American IPA.
Ring the Bell Pilsner.
That's our fastest growing brand. It's a smooth, easy drinking Pilsner to enjoy during a game.
Life Coach.
Hazy, 100% Citra Hop Session IPA, the perfect beer for all day at the golf course or the pool.
Puddler's Row ESP.
That's our multi-roasty English pub ale, 2 silver medals at the World Beer Cup. Maybe the best English ale in the country.
MC5, my favorite.
Double dry hopped IPA, it's all the juicy goodness you want in a hazy IPA.
Philly Vice.
It's our rotating series of fruited sours, light and easy drinking.
Mr. Robusto.
Dark chocolatey porter, perfect dark beer for a cold winter's night.
All exciting beers, enjoy them all and a whole lot more at Conshohocken Brewing Company's 5 PA locations and wherever fine beer is sold.
Cheers.
Welcome back to What's Brewing, along with Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow, and see, now I found my jam. This is the Slack Tide Countercurrent New England IPA, 6.5% here at this fine establishment.
New England IPA, you can see through it almost as good as you can see through the stout.
If the beer is this color, I know I'm going to love it.
This is the Manatee Milk Stout.
Good name.
Yes, and I found that it is perfect for one great thing that we've been talking about, and that's our beer scavenger hunt.
Yes. Okay, so we decided this year to have a contest and invite everybody to get involved. The first week we did it, we just asked people to send a picture of you, actually just send a picture of a brewery t-shirt. You in it is great, you not in it, we don't care. We got more than 100 entries, actually, and still, because you can still go back and you can still put that one in. The second week it was a picture of you with a brewer. If you haven't done it yet, do it. Send us a picture of you with a brewer. We're pretty lax on that.
That's right. We're doing it every week, and you get points for each thing that you show us. Just tag us on social media at What's Brewing PA on Twitter.
Right. At Real Glen Macnow on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, and you?
At Beer_Radar on Twitter.
And we got, as we said, we got over 100 in the first week. We're showing you a few of them as we go along, which we thought were really fun. The best was a woman named Bianca Nkulenko, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, who sent pictures of she and her husband, 56 different beer t-shirts. Do we give her like a bonus point or two for that?
That's amazing. That's I have a lot, but I'm nowhere near that many.
Yeah, we got fewer the second week, which was, again, a tougher assignment. But if you miss a week or two, stay with it. Keep going with it. There's going to be some winners here. We're going to have bonus points, and the winner in the end gets a night of drinking with you and me.
That'll be a lot of fun.
At a place to be determined.
Sure.
Right. Okay.
So we've got an easier one
this week. What do we need?
Okay, so I suggest get yourself a nice stout because this is a foamy one too. This is the way to do it. We want a photo of you with a perfect beer mustache.
Here we go. That's all it takes. Ah, it's good luck on you.
I hope it is.
It's pretty good.
Give us a good one. And any beer will do, I think.
Any beer will do, right. You figure out something foamy, get it to us, and we will keep this scavenger hunt going. We've had a lot of fun with it. All right, speaking of a lot of fun, you just returned from Europe, brought back a cold, I noticed. But tell me a little bit about your adventures there, because I know most people go to Europe, they go to like the Eiffel Tower. You go to Europe, you just like drink beer.
Look for breweries.
Yeah.
We took a crew of about 45 or 50 people on a river tour of the Rhine River, beautiful place from Basel to Amsterdam. We had a couple glitches along the way because of a boat accident and some boat problems, but we did get to see some wonderful beer destinations, including the Meteor Brewery in Strasbourg, which was a beautiful place.
Meteor, M-E-T-E-O-R?
That's right. You don't think of beer and France too much, but this is in the Alsace-Lorraine, so there's been a lot of German influence there, or also known as German rule, I guess, but at times, but some really good breweries along the way. We had a fantastic time. It included, one of my favorite things is during the day, people will go out to bottle shops in the various towns we visit, bring their own beer back, and we do bottle shares on the boat. Show us what you brought. It's a lot of fun.
All right, well, one thing that is happening, we've talked on this show before about the rise of other alcohol delivery systems, shall we say. And now as pot becomes legal in more and more states, is the next trend cannabis drinks. I read a story about the age of Weed Claw, which it's not actually White Claw, but...
Weed Claw, okay.
Yeah, okay, but you get the message. New cannabis-infused sparkling beverages are now entering the market, not surprisingly, Colorado being the first place.
Exactly. Well, the thing about these, and they've been around for a little bit, there's been hemp beer for years and years, but it's always been without any real noticeable levels of THC,
right.
So it's not psychoactive.
They used to have to be below a certain level.
Exactly.
Now you can go nuts.
However, you can go nuts in states where it's legal, but
Yeah.
you can't have any levels of real alcohol in it. You can't have a beer.
Mix.
You can't mix because alcohol is regulated by the feds, and they don't like hemp.
So you said they have this in Europe already, but...
Yeah, in Europe you see it an awful lot, but the thing I notice is that the bottles of it always appear in sort of low-grade, sort of grimy beer stores. I don't think it's really considered to be a connoisseur's beer at all.
We'll see how that works here. All right, coming up, we are going to talk to the man who created this masterpiece, Jason Campbell, Slack Tide Brewing. With Joe Sixpack, I'm Glen Macnow. This is What's Brewing. Welcome back to What's Brewing. We are at the Slack Tide Brewing Company, Cape May Courthouse. And we're here with Jason Campbell, who is the co-owner. And Jason, what am I about to enjoy here?
You're about to enjoy Monkeyface Stout, which is our version of an American stout that is actually named after our mother.
Wait, what?
That's what most people's first reaction
Named
is.
after your mother?
Yeah.
Boy, what a sign of love that was.
My mother passed away about 7 years ago.
Probably when she learned you were naming this beer after.
Maybe. But her favorite beer of all time was Guinness Stout. So my brother and I were avid home brewers at the celebration.
Actually, this is really good and does have a little Guinness. Yeah, but the name.
So to the name real quick. So we were at the Celebration of Life party. We had homebrewed this stout. We didn't have a name for it yet. We were thinking about opening the brewery, and this was going to be one of the beers we were going to use. And we wanted to honor our mother in some way. And my dad goes, I have the perfect name for the beer, Monkeyface. And the reason why they call her Monkeyface is when my mom was a little kid, that's what my uncles used to call her. So when you tell people that story, they're like, oh, I get it. And everybody, and everybody that knew my mother really appreciates the.
And now it goes forever. Anyway, it's a fine beer.
Good beer. This is the Bellboy, which Jason knows is one of my favorites from this brewery. It's a Belgian blonde. We've actually featured it on the show in the past. A beer that I wish more brewers would make. It's delicious, easy to drink, with a little bit of a kick.
Well, let's talk about what you guys are up to, which includes crossing state lines.
Yes. We just began distribution into Pennsylvania this week, or actually they just picked up this week through 31st and Wharton. So you'll be able to, they're our distributor over there in PA. You'll be able to find us starting soon at your local bottle shop or distributor. I think that's how they do it in Pennsylvania. You have to buy it from a beer store still. We've already been at 2 establishments in Pennsylvania. We're at Bridget Foy's on 2nd and South Street.
Place.
And we're also in Stinger's Waterfront in Ridley Park.
Good, very good. Good for you.
Yeah.
What else you got coming up here at Slack Tide?
So we actually have an expansion in the works. We actually bought a property down the road here, about 1/8 of a mile. We hope to be breaking ground there soon and be in that facility, which will be 2 or 3 times the size of this one. It's sometime in 2023. We also have a couple of charity beers that we're currently working on right now.
We talked about the Habitat for Humanity one in the opening. What is this one?
So this is called Rising Hope.
Rising Hope.
And this is a national collaboration. They pick one brewery in each state to produce this beer. It's a guava, orange, passion fruit IPA. The original recipe was made by
got your color on it there.
The original recipe was made by Cigar City and Florida Brewing Company, and it's called the actual fundraising plan is called Brewing for the Cure, or Brewing Funds the Cure. So it's a really good beer. We were honored to be selected as the only brewery in New Jersey to produce it. So it's really
Very
really good
fruity
beer.
in it.
Yeah, super fruity.
So this is out now? This is out currently? Oh yeah, that's actually really nice.
It is. I like that a lot.
That's very nice.
Now, Glenn and I have joked around often about the weird rules in New Jersey for breweries unable to sell food. They're very internecine, but you are a member of the New Jersey Brewers Association.
That's correct.
So part of your job in your other life is to help try to sort of sort through these rules, I imagine.
Yeah, we serve as an advocacy group and a sort of a big cheerleader for the guys who are just coming up. But our biggest goal is to try to get parity in alcohol legislation in New Jersey. Breweries are held to a different standard than wineries. Wineries are held to a different standard than distilleries. And the solution to the problem is just to treat us all the same, and then it'll be pretty easy to do. It'll be easier in the future. So we're constantly working with legislatures and the ABC to find ways to solve that issue, and also to address the special ruling and some of the other onerous legislation that they put on us.
Well, Jason, this is outstanding beer, and people should find their way. Let's close with this. How do people tell people how to find the joint and when you're open?
Well, sure. So we're open 7 days a week. In the winter, we have limited hours Monday through Thursday, but 7 days a week. We're between exit 13 and 17 off the Garden State Parkway. Our address is 1072 Route 83, Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey. So if you're on the way down from Philly and you're going to Avalon, Sea Isle, Stone Harbor, or Wildwood, you drive right past it.
Good stuff. Well, you know what? We're going to stick around for another show. We appreciate you hosting us.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you. This has been a great time at the Slack Tide Brewing Company. We'll be back next week. Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow for What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monkeyface Makers, powered by the Valley Forge Tourism Convention Board. Download the app.
By Visit Bucks County. Travel the Bucks County Ale Trail. Check in digitally to 5 or more breweries to score a free t-shirt. Get your passport at visitbuckscounty.com.
And by the Conshohocken Brewing Company. Visit conchahockenbrewing.com for the latest releases, location hours, menus, and online store.